I can never tell when this thing is recording. Hey everybody. Ask and you shall receive. Today we are going to be talking about primers, the basics of foundation, and eyebrows. We're gonna do eyebrows, and that'll be fun. So anyways, let's start. I figured we'd start out with the basics before we moved on to like anything more complicated. So as far as foundation for or as far as primer for foundation goes, I really like to use Smashbox Photo Finish, and it's in a clear tube like this, and it's just a kind of gel, and I don't worry about how I apply this too much, but just get like, you know, a decent amount. I'm running out now, so I have to use less and less, and just apply all over, like anywhere that your foundation is going to go. So if you do a little bit underneath on your neck, try to get that area too. This is a really, I always forget this area right here, my upper lip. Make sure that you get the entirety of your face to the best of your ability. There is nothing worse than having patchy foundation, in my opinion. Okay, so there we go. You can't really see, there's no actual visible one. It's just gonna make visible markings that you've done your primer as far as this goes. But it makes your face feel really soft, like really soft, and it'll also make your foundation last a lot longer. So from there, okay, since we're talking about primers, let's do all our primers. As far as a lip primer goes, I couldn't bring it with me because my hands are full, but you can really use any lip balm. I prefer like, there's this little, it's in like a golden, I should have brought it in here. It's like a little golden tin, and it's round, and it has strawberries on the front, and you can buy it from Sephora as you are exiting. They try to get you with that like impulse buy, and they do every time. So just any lip balm is good. You just want to make sure that your lips are really moisturized, and whatever you use, you're gonna dab it off first anyways. So now we have our foundation primer on. Let's move to our eye primer. I usually like to use products that are not e.l.f. if I can. Like e.l.f. is really great when I'm on a budget, and I love it for that. But if I have a little bit more money, I like to spend on things that are a little bit more pigmented. e.l.f. just has the tendency to not quite be the color that it is on the palette when you put it on your face, and also it creases up a little bit, so I like to use other things. But e.l.f. primer is really good. I like e.l.f. blush for contouring. That's really good. So anyways, e.l.f. can be your friend. Just you know, decide when you want to use e.l.f. because it can be a little bit hit or miss. So as far as our primer goes, this one comes off on a brush, which is really handy for me because what I like to do is make a shape underneath my eyebrows all the way to my lash line. Make sure to get the inside there so it's nice and round like that, and I find that that gives me a little bit more even coverage, and then I don't have to worry about trying to get my fingers all the way like in the creases of my eyes with these ridiculous nails on. Okay, one more time, and this doesn't have to be really precise. This is just for trying to get some even distribution. Let's see. All right. So then, if you do have a brush, use a brush. I like to pat because I don't like to find streak marks once I'm done with my makeup. That's my big thing. So if you can, pat. Or use a brush because brushes are your friend. But I don't have a brush that is specifically purposed for this yet, and I feel like that's kind of a minor purpose for a brush, and brushes are expensive. So anyways, now our primer is all, now our primer is all done. Yeah, that's all the primers that we wanted to talk about. So let's talk about the basics of foundation then. There are different kinds of coverage and stuff like that, which I feel are greatly underappreciated. I think most women are using full coverage these days, which it's good, and I have plenty of full coverage, like makeup and stuff like that, which is it's fantastic if you're wearing it all day, or if you have like a really special event, or if you need to cover anything up. And it's really great for tattoo cover-ups too, as well. But um, not that I need to cover up any tattoos. But I currently am using a medium coverage, and it is a tinted moisturizer actually, and I really knocked it before I bought it. I was like, anything with like SPF, like it's more like a sunscreen, and it's not gonna, I felt like it wasn't gonna do a good job or last or anything like that, or it wasn't gonna be full coverage enough. But you can still see my skin, and the look right now is dewy. So instead of having like straight, like very matte looking skin, there's a little tiny bit of shine to it, so you can tell that you're still like a human being. So anyways, this is NARS. It's a tinted moisturizer. Mine is in, lordy, it's a small SPF. All of the lettering has worn off because I've used this so hard. But it does have sunscreen, and it's broad spectrum too, which is really nice. Tinted moisturizer. I can't tell how many SPF. 8, 18. So, and I have it in the lightest shade because, I could cosplay as Snow White like really hard. So what I like to do is, it's gonna come out. There we go. I can't remember exactly what this is called, but my friend showed it to me when I was like in 8th grade, and I've just never stopped. So what I do is go like this, and you want that dot to be the fullest and thickest of these 3. And then you're going to do a dot the same size as about the middle one on your nose. And then same thing on this side. This doesn't have to be super precise once again, because it's all going to get blended in. One on your chin. Now I need a little bit more, so I'm going to come back and just a little bit more. I always put too much for this part. And then another 1, 2, 3 there. And because I always forget it, I like to put just a little tiny bit on my upper lip. And any remnants, for me at least, go under my eyes, because I have just naturally really purple under eyes. So there we go. Now that I look thoroughly ridiculous. And at this point, I will go bring you the brush that I would use, and I will speed this part up and like add music, and it'll be really fun. So I'll be right back. Hi guys. So anyways, you would use this brush to pat each of these in, but I turned my friend into the Cheshire Cat, and it's still running a little pink. So we'll find out, won't we? Let's do this together. Yeah, see, pink. So anyways, what you would do is pat, which is the same thing that I was talking about with the primer, rather than pull it, because it can leave some streak marks. So anyways, I don't have that option right now. I'm trying to get that brush clean for like a week. I might just have to buy another one and use this one solely for costume makeup. So anyways, so what I'm going to do then is pat it around as best I can under my eyes as well. And just really try to get it around as best you can. You really don't want to have areas that are more covered than others. I like to pull this one down under my chin a little bit, just so that it's a little bit better blended. Okay. Sorry, this is so slow. This is like the longest video of all time, and if you're skipping around, I'm not mad at you. So, pat pat patting and smearing and pat pat patting, because I don't want to take this, or for this to take forever. Move it under your nose. Try to get in here if you can. Mine are always red. Mine always have blackheads in them. I'm not perfect. Yeah. So, what really annoys me is I always manage to get this on my lips, and then I have to take off my lip balm and use, like a really harsh, like, makeup remover on my lips, and then it tastes awful, and I'm tasting it all day. It's terrible. So, avoid your lips if you can, and avoid hitting your nose on your finger, and okay. So anyways, back to this. So, and this is just the first step, by the way. I'll get into some more complicated stuff later, but these are the real basics of what I do every day. So, and almost done. We're so close, guys. Okay. Alright. See? So anyways, now we have on our foundation, and I like that it's not too full coverage. You can still tell the difference between my eyelids and the rest of my skin now, because you can see that my eyelids are a little bit redder. They're a little bit more uneven and stuff like that, but they just have a primer on them, so they're a little, primer is not intended to be used as a cover-up, by the way. So if your eyelids still look uneven or stuff like that, like, that's not a big deal. Don't go back in and put a bunch on. Anyways, so I'm just demonstrating that you can see that my face looks different, and medium coverage is your friend, indeed, if you are me. But if you want to go with full coverage, the same rules can still apply. Maybe use just a touch less if you don't want it to look very matte. So anyways, what we're going to do after that, and don't know if I want to bring this up yet, but I like to do my tinted moisturizer before I do my powder foundation, but other people sometimes do their powder foundation first and then do their liquid foundation, and that can wind up giving a more dewy thing, but this is an everyday look, so I'll just do what I do every day. For this, you want a big round brush that is nice and soft. Boop, boop, boop. Can't tell, but it's like throwing powder in the air here. Right now, I don't spend too much money on these ones because, like, I don't know, I'm sure I'll get into it and then be addicted like with everything else, but powder foundation, this is CoverGirl True Blend, and it's the lightest shade that they had because, once again, Snow White. So just go ahead and open it up, get a decent amount on either side of the brush, and what I like to do, we were talking about padding and stuff like that, I like to do circles now. Just small brush strokes is a thing that I like, rather than big sweeping like this. So anyways, and you know, it doesn't need to be a ton. This is what this is going to do for you is make that foundation last a little longer, especially if it's something like a tinted moisturizer, because it is going to stay a little bit wetter than other foundations would. So under the eyes too, top of my lip, around the nose. Okay, so I think that's it for what I do with my foundation. I can't remember because now you guys are looking at me. Yes, that's what I do for my foundation, and I like it to be really light. My face is still soft, it doesn't clog my pores, and yes, so that's how I do my foundation. Let's start talking about eyebrows, and this, I am gonna level with you, I don't do these every day because they take forever and ever, but I will try to give you a really quick one, so I'm gonna set this in my lap so it's a little closer. Alright, what we're going to do, it's called cut creasing. I don't know why, but this is how I do it. This is how I shape my eyebrows. So, you're going to look at them, and you're going to draw a line in white eyeliner. This one, I guess it's Boutique. I picked it up from Sally Beauty Supply when I was buying human hair literally. Anyways, that's a whole different story. But yeah, so you're going to, I like to start right here, and I like this line to be really defined. So you see, it's a little difficult because I'm very, very pale, and this is a white crayon, but I like that line to be really nice and sharp. And then this one, I'll round off just a little bit more, like so. And you're gonna think this looks ridiculous the entire time that you're doing it. And you're so sure it's gonna look horrible today. And today is the day that you don't need it to look horrible. But it never looks horrible. You're good. Trust. Trust in yourself. Yes. So anyways, and then I like to keep this a little closer, if I can, closer to my brow line underneath. So basically what you're doing is stenciling out where you want your eyebrows to be, whatever shape that is. So I like mine to be relatively thin because I feel like with such dark hair everywhere, thick eyebrows might not be my friend. So on top of the brow as well, I'm trying to keep them nice and thin. So I am covering up some of the roots. It's hard to tell because this is a crappy webcam camera, but I am covering up some of the roots of my eyebrows in order to make my brows appear a little bit thinner. And what I'm going to do when I get to about 2/3 the way over, you can see I've been working on it really freaking hard, is trying to get my eyebrows to arch. It's not going my way, but I'm working on it. So as soon as I get there, I'm going to make a little tiny V shape. And it's really hard to see, but I'm going to pull it back down here and have it meet up with the rest of my white lines there. So anyways, now that your eyebrow is all stenciled out and you look like a cartoon villain, I'm just going to do one for you guys because I don't want to keep you waiting here forever. So after you've got that done, what you'll do is, I like to take this little brush. I have no idea what its purpose is. I have no idea what you're supposed to use this brush for. None whatsoever. And I've had it for years and been using it for different things, which is a no-no. Purpose your brushes.